Hello, welcome to Scratch 3D Printing. In this video, we have Flashforge AD5X 3D printer to unbox for you. Let's scratch today's 3D printer. I have been so excited for this 3D printer ever since Flashforge has announced the AD5X. So quickly, the reason why I'm so interested in this 3D printer is that it has multicolored 3D printer, yes, but it can also print flexible filament. So that is going to be the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on this AD5X 3D printer from Flashforge. I have bought flexible filament just for this 3D printer because the first time I couldn't get the 3D printer, but the second launch here I got it. So enough with that, let's just unbox this and get the 3D printer set up and ready for printing. Let's go. From the box, it has a dent here. Hopefully nothing is damaged. So that's what the box looks like. On top here, we have the how to install display screen. We also got an envelope from Flashforge. Let's see what this is. Oh, and besides, I bought the 3D printer myself, so this whole video is me. Flashforge did not send me this. I just bought this because I want to. Usually it's just like the manual, stuff like that. A thank you card, Flashforge stuff, after sales service, start guide, telling you exactly how to unbox, so you don't have to worry about anything. More foam. Now is the true strength. Luckily, this is not a big 3D printer, so it's not that heavy. That is everything in the box. Okay, now let's just unwrap this. Man, this is the tiniest Core XY 3D printers I had ever bought. Looks so baby to me. It looks like a baby 3D printer compared to the K2 Plus. And even compared to Cobra S1, it's such a small 3D printer. For the AD5X, you will get cable power cord, your tools, accessories. Let's see what you actually get. You get screws and parts for the 3D printer. Wow, you get a screwdriver, an Allen wrench. But look at this Allen wrench. These Allen wrench are the ball type Allen wrench, which is very nice. I love it. Well, for me, it's 2 out of 3. Not sure why this one is not the same. Yes, you get a plier, which is very nice. Some 3D printers doesn't come with these. The Cobra S1. You get some maintenance grease, which is nice. Oh, look at this. You get a push rod. That is very nice for clearing clogs. And they even give you a 3D printing adhesive glue. Wow. Oh, it's not glue, it's liquid. It's liquid. Wow. I have not seen these before. I'm gonna try and use it. Yeah, let's remove this first. Okay, the back, way back part piece first. Now we can move the print head back and release this foam. Let's go. And nothing else is in here. Now this foam right here is gonna be your AMS system for the AD5X. So everything is gonna be in here. Let's see what we have. So it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. This is gonna hold your filament. It's gonna go on the side. We will install this later. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You get 4 boring tube that is already attached to this 4 coupler holder here, which is for easy installment. You get some test filament, which in this case I don't really mind because it's such a small 3D printer, and to save space for shipping and stuff like that, they're gonna do this. If they're gonna give you like 4 rows of filament, it's gonna be like in a bigger box, but it would be nice to get. But for testing, I guess this is fine. Right here, you will get your hub for your 4 color. You also get this. This is your mounting plate and a cable to connect the filament to the 3D printer. That's it with this foam. So we're gonna get this out and install the screen. To get the screen out, we need to remove this bracket, which contains 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't do that, okay? Now let's remove these 2 brackets here. Okay, now the screen is free. To attach the screen, we need to put these in here and then push to the left. Just like that. The screen is installed. Okay, I still don't know why companies don't make this a permanent screen protector. Instead, it's just a plastic piece protecting the screen. I want them to have a screen protector, but in this case, we're just gonna peel it. Oh yeah, that is amazing. Now I'm gonna flip this and install the filament hub. So the filament hub is gonna go right in the middle right here. The mounting bracket for this. So you just put it at an angle and then twist it. Should line up perfectly. like that. Now we just need to use 2 screws to screw it in. It's an 3x6 screw. It comes in this bag here, so we're gonna use this. So what I'm gonna do is put a screw through it and then line up, screw it in. There we go. Do the same thing for the other one. Hey, that seems stable. Filament holder is labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess to install these, you just slide these right here with the bracket here. You don't need any screw, which is very convenient. There we go. Wow, that is very easy to do. So from just playing with this spins this way, but if you spin this way, it bounces back. Wow, that is very interesting. Okay, next one, number 3. Down here, just gonna slide in. Very easy to install. Slide it in. Finally, number 1. Slide it in. There we go. We are done with this side, so I'm gonna move it again over here. Connect from this hub over here to the print head. Okay, so I don't think these matter of 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna have to connect them. This will be the second one. I love these connection here. From the look of this, there's no way to take these tube out. If you push it in, it's like stuck. You're gonna take it out. You're gonna push these. How do you take the tube out if you don't want to? You cannot push this down at all. Or maybe you can, but it just doesn't work. How do you get the tube out? I guess we're committing to it. Connected to the print head, which has this rod here, which is perfect for a 1.75mm filament. Stick it in there. There we go. It's all the way in there. But I found a problem. We need to take this wire out from this corner over here. Seems like it's stuck. There we go. We got this cable out, and now we're gonna attach it to one of the tube up here so that it does not get in the way when it's 3D printing, like that, so that it can go anywhere without any problem. Next, I will install this cable, which connects to the 3D printer to this filament hub. It's gonna be a 4-pin at the back here, and then connect it to the hub over here. There we go. But there's still one more thing, and we need to put this cable right here, because if we don't do that, it's gonna get in the way of the filament. This bag comes in again. We need to use 2 more screws plus this cable holder. We're gonna hold the cable like this. Do it something like that so that it's halfway over here, halfway down here, and does not interfere with this. Do 1 screw first, do the next screw, just like that. It's installed. Okay, so for this 3D printer right here, it has an Ethernet port, power switch, and a power cable right there. Looks like that's like a ground wire right there. The filament chute, filament slide. There's like a vent here. I got everything installed. The screen installed. For filament that's connected to the print head installed. The hub installed. All the filament holder installed. Now let's take a look at the 3D printer itself. And here we need to remove this screw, and I believe another one back there before powering on the 3D printer. But let's do that after I go through all the things in this 3D printer. Well, most of them. So back here we will have the filament purge and a silicone wiper. Well, this one is pretty stiff, which is nice. So the 3D printer is gonna come here. So it's gonna hit this, poop, and then let it launch, which is really cool. It's a different style, which is amazing. And you can tension your belt here, over here, and we have a vent here for air filtration, I guess, or just a vent there. Right here we have 2 slots, and I believe here and down here we have 2 slots where we can put some carbon air filter to absorb stuff here, but doesn't look like it comes with it, or maybe it's just there so that we can have access to whatever's back there. But most likely I feel like it's like a filter situation. This one is kind of blocked, so we're just gonna leave that there. It's a Core XY 3D printer, so it's this print. The bed moves up and down. Here we have a rod and a screw. Same over here, rod and screw. Looks like there's no motor controlling these. And back here we have 2 rods, unlike the Cobra S1, which has only 1 rod. This has 2 rods and a lead screw. And I believe the motor is gonna be driving this screw right there. And we take a sneak peek look back there. That's gonna be where the motherboard is gonna be, and all the wires, the motor. That's the motor right there. And maybe on this side it'll be the power supply. but I don't want to take apart anything. Here on the printhead, right here, it's gonna be your filament cutter, and then there's a motor back here for driving the filament. Let's see if we can just remove this without, yes, the print header is magnetic. Oh, that is amazing. I love that. Oh my gosh, dude, look at this design. There's the board right here, right? And it has 4 pin. So if you connect this to this, it's gonna connect right there, and that's gonna send power to the fan right here, which is such a cool design. Wow. You don't have to use any screws, you don't have to unplug any wires. It's just this 4 pin connecting to this 4 pin over here, and it's gonna connect power everything that's gonna run this fan. Flashforge, that is a really amazing cool design. Here's gonna be your fan cooling your nozzle. Take a look inside here. So right here, yes, like I said, it's gonna be your filament cutter, but it doesn't seem like can't really see the blade. I believe that right there is the blade, but it could be hidden inside right there. It has a latch right here. There's a fan right here cooling this so that heat does not creep up there and clog the filament. Here we have a silicone. Can I take this out? I just take the silicone off, so you just kind of peel it upward, and wow, look at that. Look at the nozzle. Wow, I never seen this design before. This thing is kind of moving. Can we just like, oh my gosh, this is so modular. They're using magnet for everything. Oh, this is so cool. Can we remove this and take out the nozzle? Let's see. I think we can, right? Yes, you can just unattach this and unattach this heatsink, and the nozzle just fall out like that. Wow, that is such a weird and cool design, never seen before. Are we supposed to make this tighter? Are we supposed to tighten this a little bit more? I don't know. The heater in the thermistor is back there. The wires you can see. This is how the nozzle looks like. Wow, it's like a gold plated, but I think it's copper. Never seen this type of nozzle before. I don't think there will be any replacement out there yet for this 3D printer. It looks like they tested with some yellow filament, which is totally fine. Now, I guess we'll just put it back and close this. Okay, I need to use 2 hands. Okay, there we go. I got it back in there, but I guess that will be enough for looking at this. Maybe if there's a clog, I will do more things with this in the future. I want to explore more with this, but that'll be it for this, and we're just gonna put this back and get the 3D printing ready for printing. Oh my gosh, that is such an easy, cool design. Okay, before you do anything else, remove these 3 screws, because if you don't, your 3D printer is gonna be in such a bad position. It's gonna break your 3D printer. I've seen that happen so many times. So remove these 3 screws. These are so much easier to remove than some other 3D printers. Now that we got that removed, let's just power on the 3D printer. Man, I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited. Power on right now. There we go. Okay, motor's engaging. Cool. Let's go and set this up. It was very interesting. Flashforge does not have an app on the App Store. You gotta download from their website, so I did that. I'm buying the 3D printer, so now let's continue. Okay, now it's gonna do its thing. It's gonna home and stuff like that. Okay, now it's time to load in the filament. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm gonna load in this filament right here. It's JU's filament. It's just PLA Plus. Push these in, huh? Okay, so that's how you lock it in. Push it all the way. Wow. Okay, that is nice. Okay, put in the first lot. There we go. It's loading in. Automatically loading in. The next one is also PLA. What I'm gonna do is overtuned TPU. I'm gonna try some TPU in here. And the last one is gonna be PLA carbon fiber. There we go. Next. Okay, there we go. Everything is finished. Oh, what? It's doing a test model already? Oh, wow, that is interesting. Never got a 3D printer that does that before. Usually you gotta select a model in order to print, but As soon as you finish, it just automatically do a test model. Okay, not complaining. Wow, that first layer is going down pretty nice. But I'm not sure if you can hear that. There's like something kind of crunching. Not quite sure what that is. The retraction was kind of loud. Retraction plus the bed moving up and down was quite loud. I'm gonna use the sound test here. From where I'm recording is about 2 feet. It's about 64. Yeah, there we go. And it's completed. You can click to print again. Continue. No. Oh, I should have pressed OK. That is very nice. It cancels the print right away. It doesn't do its purging and stuff like that. I like it. Cancels the print right away. It's such a small build plate. Okay, so from the look of this, the first layer seems to go down pretty well. And also from the look of this, it's a very, very thin build plate. Wow, that is some quality printing right there. That looks really nice. First layer looks nice. I'm gonna go through the setting here and then I'll do more testing and then we will do our ratings after that. So this will be your home screen. You see your 3D printer, your temperature nozzle, your heated bed temperature, and your basic information about your AD5X. So the build volume here is 220 by 220 by 220. And total print time is 0. Looks like they reset everything. Your IP address, everything, your RAM is going to be in right here. And if you click your 3D printer here, it's going to jump to the second option here, which is your files. So it has all your file right here, some 3D benchy, all of this good stuff. Your SD card, which surprisingly this does not come with an SD card. Next will be your filament, everything. So your 4 filament right here. If you look closely, it says PLA TPU, PLA carbon fiber. It's very small, but it's there. So if you're not using this, you can use this, the second option, which is a 1 spool. So I think if we unplug this wire here, it will give us the 1 option. There's a question mark here, will be your guide for everything. Retract, you can extrude, you can edit right here, the pencil, edit your filament. The screen is responsive, and as you can see right there, it just turned green, telling you that it is safe to touch this, and the nozzle is cooled down to a safe temperature, which is very nice. And once that is cooled down, the fan does shut off a bit, but as you can still hear the motherboard fan running. Next will be your setting, your movement here. Oh gosh. Okay, never do that again. Okay, don't do that. Almost broken. So you can move back and forth, you can move up and down. You can lock, you can unlock. So if we click this, the motor shuts off, everything shuts off, and you cannot use this anymore. You need to home it first. So now you can move it freely, and I love this. Thank you, Flashforge, for making everything shut off. The fans, the motor, the motherboard fan. That is amazing. I love this feature. Every single 3D printer should have this feature. I believe this will be home. I'm not going to press it yet. Your Wi-Fi information here. This, you can redo the leveling, calibrations, temperature calibrations, extruder calibrations, all right here. You can select your stuff here, network mode, all of the good stuff. All the way down here is going to be your 3D printer name, the firmware, and all of that stuff, your account. Next page, factory reset, everything, screensaver. So I think if you have that, the screen will shut off at some point. Wow, this has so much information. Oh my gosh, it has all the sensor. That is really, really nice to have. I love this. Move the extruder to waste straight point. Wow, I actually like this. That is so cool. Responsive, all the information you need is here. Yeah, that is very, very cool. Okay, so I'm going to do more testing, printing with this, and then we will look at those later. I have been playing with Flashforge AD5X for a whole day now, and I got some 3D printing parts there that I want to show you. Of course, the first one will have to be a benchy pre-sliced in the 3D printer. So it consists of 4 colors. The first just PLA. PLA, this is carbon fiber PLA, and as you can see here, there's lots of stringy. The PLA carbon fiber, I did not dry it, and it was like just sitting on the shelf for over 3 to 4 months now. And with a little amount of stringy here, is still pretty good. The regular PLA just printed flawlessly without any problems. All the layers are really consistent throughout the whole thing. You can read that, and I can read what is written back here. That is a really clean print. It's just the carbon fiber, hairy carbon fiber. The next thing I print is Orca Slicer's tolerance test. So for this test, it goes from 0 tolerance all the way to 0.4 tolerance with this hexagon here. Let's test it down here. The 0.4, it goes through. The 0.3 also goes through. 0.2 goes through. 0.1 it goes through. Pretty good. Okay, now it's to the 0.05. It fits. It fits really nicely, and kind of got stuck, but still fits, and you can still push it around, which is nice. Got it out. And now the 0 tolerance. Can this fit the 0 tolerance? Okay, there we go. It fit, but it got stuck. But hey, look at that. It can go mostly all the way there. If I push it harder, yes, look at that. It goes, but it's stuck now. So that is really good. It passed the 0.05. That is amazing for the tolerance. This fits the 0 tolerance, which is very nice. And now to what I have been wanting to print with 3D printing ever since multicolor has come out, or multi-filament, right? So the AD5X can print multicolor and it can print multi-filament. TPU, PDG, PLA, all the good stuff together. And for the first time, a multicolor 3D printer can print TPU. And it's this. Well, it's broken because I made another video with this, and you will see that video shortly after this one. But this is a mallet hammer. This piece here is PLA, and this piece up here is TPU 95A, and it's very soft, but I don't know. I need to do more calibrations with TPU. For whatever reason, maybe the temperature is not set right, the speed is way too fast. But on the roll, it says that it can print up to 500 millimeters per second. So I was testing that, and it did print pretty nicely. Filaments just don't have the time to bond together, and it printed good. So if you remember, I printed something like this a long time ago. Same thing happened, but this time connected the handle and the mallet hammer up here, whatever this thing is called, together. So it's interlocked like this, and it's very stuck in there. PLA and TPU does not want to stick together. So if you just print it side by side here, it will not, or if you just print it like this, it will not stick. It will break, something like this. It can print TPU, flexible filament. That is exactly what I wanted. So much idea to do with the AD5X. And this was the pre-slice or the test piece that was printed on the AD5X, and I think it printed pretty nicely. Everything prints very flawlessly. The first layer is good, and yeah, you can read that. It's F. It's for Flashforge. First layer test right here. It prints the first layer really nicely. Of course, right, it should have been printed very nicely like this because it's such a small build plate. And from experience, I feel like smaller build plate has more consistency than large build plate. Because smaller build plate, it doesn't tend to flex that much. Larger, it's like easier to flex. So I don't know, it's just what I think. But it printed this very nicely. All the layers are sticking with each other very nicely. Here it's peeling because I peel way too fast. The bed is still super hot and I just start peeling. So then I wait a couple of minutes and everything was cool down. Then I peel it off and you get a really nice first layer. So first layer test is good. Then the last piece that I printed is this all-in-one test right here. You have overhang, you have walls, you have embossed tags, you have just straight up rods, you have circle tests, you have hole tests, you got bridging tests, you get all of the good stuff. The first layer is really nice. And let's just take a closer look at this. So if we take a look at the circle, I can tell that the circle is stacking very nicely together. But if we look at the top here, you can see all these artifacts here. At first I thought it was a top layer. I went back and looked at the slicer, and this model here was like this. These are supposed to be text, but I think they're way too small for the slicers to add them here, right? Something way too small. Sometimes it just end up like this. So this is exactly what happened. These are supposed to be text, but I feel like for this piece here, almost all the tests that I do with this piece, the text comes out kind of bad like this. So I'm not gonna judge this because most of the 3D printers that I do with this test couldn't really print these texts, but these texts here printed really nicely. Let's take a look at the overhang right here. So this one goes from 15 all the way to 75. And if we take a look at the bottom here, 75 still do a really good job. But if we look at this piece over here, it goes all the way to 70. And if we take a look at the 70 here, it prints really nicely. Look at that. Still stacking really nicely together. But 80, you can see that it starts falling apart. But 70 overhang, that is a really good 3D printer. Now if we take a look at the bridge here, the bridge seems really nice all the way through. A little bit of sag right here, but that is a long way and it prints like that, so it's good. But the only thing that's kind of bad is these rod here. These rod here, you can see that some area is bigger, some area shrink, some areas like not good, like this area is smaller and this area is bigger, and then yeah. I would have done more tests with the AD5X, but I have so many projects that I'm going to be doing in the upcoming days, so I'm just going to do as much 3D printing as I did here in one day. And I feel like this is a pretty good solid starting point for the AD5X. And from using the AD5X for a whole day now, I can feel that this is a good 3D printer. But let's just say if you're gonna compare it to like a K2 Plus, it's on a whole different level. But for this 3D printer, the special thing is no other 3D printers with multicolor, their AMS system, their CFS system, whatever the system is called, it cannot print TPU. And I will dive further into this hub over here and how the AD5X is able to print with TPU. But that's for another video. Now it's time to get to our rating. First is the print quality. From the look of the bench here, all the layer lines, the text back here, the top layer, the bridging and stuff like that, it's really nice. All the layers are stacking really nicely together. The first layer is good. All the layer lines are stacking really nicely on top of each other. And from this piece here, it prints really cool. It has some ironing up here and overall just really solid piece. And even the mallet hammer here, TPU with PLA, it prints really nicely. The quality is good. The layers are stacking on top of each other very nicely. So print quality, I will have to give it a 9 out of 10. Tolerance test, I just did one tolerance test, but usually I just go based off of this and you can kind of know what the tolerance of the 3D printer is. So if it's a 0.05 and you can move it up and down, it fits very nicely. It gets stuck on the 0, but most 3D printer don't pass the 0.05. So this passed the 0.05, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Next is the first layer. As you can see here, this is a flawless first layer. Not perfect. You can see that there's like some defect here and there, but there's no layer splitting and it just print nicely with no layer lifting up and stuff like that. So for the first layer, it will be a 10 out of 10. Stringy. This benchy has stringy, but it's just on the carbon fiber. And once it gets to the PLA up here, regular PLA, there's no stringy. And if they're gonna be stringy, these rod here, they're gonna be stringy, prints here, go to here. There should be stringy there, but there's not stringy. So for stringing, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10. And the last rating here is easy to use. Is the AD5X easy to use? Well, for me, definitely it's easy to use. All the setup is very easy. Everything is contained inside the machine. You just pull it up, set it up, and you just start printing. It's like very easy to use. You go through the menu at the beginning and then it just start printing right there. So it's very easy to use. I will give easy to use a 10 out of 10. The overall rating will be right here. And that is pretty much it with this video of me unboxing the AD5X, using it, and give a little bit of review of my experience of the AD5X. This rating is just me. I'm just rating it for me. So look at the rating as just like me rating the 3D printer for fun. Don't take it like personally, oh, you rated like this, so it has to be this good. Like, why is it so high? Yeah, it's just my rating for myself. I'm gonna make a poop catcher for the AD5X, and this time I'm gonna try my best to make it a really good one. So if you are excited as me subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Have you got yourself an AD5X from Flashforge, or you're not interested in this and you want a different 3D printer? Oh, I want to say one thing about the AD5X here is the only problem for me is that it's a little bit on the smaller size, 220 by 220 by 220. I would love a bigger AD5X with multicolor printing, TPU, stuff like that. Flashforge, if you had that in mind of making a bigger version of the AD5X, I am here ready to test it. But that'll be it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel because more amazing videos like this is coming all the time. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on 3D printing.